Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I make my eyeliner as even as possible. Now my eyes are not the same shape, so I find it really difficult sometimes, but I'm just gonna show you my tips and tricks on how I try to make them as even as possible. Now before I go in with any eyeliner, I'm first gonna quickly prime the eyelids. Priming is not really necessary, you can also use like some concealer, but since we're gonna apply something on the eyelid, I wanna kind of get rid of the redness. So this is the line that I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna start at the outer portion of the eyelid towards the brow. So I'm taking this Maybelline Studio Gel Eyeliner, which is my favorite drugstore gel eyeliner. I'm using it in combination with a Sigma E75 brush. So this is the kind of direction that I'm gonna follow. I'm starting at the outer end of the lower lash line, not the lower lash line, the upper lash line, and following kind of the direction of the outer part of my eyebrow. I'm not gonna drag the line all the way towards my brow because that will make it a really long wing liner. That's not really the style that I'm going for today, but I'm kind of stopping a little bit further than halfway. Of course, you can always kind of decide what you like. You can make the line longer, you can make it shorter, kind of depends on your preference. So I'm kind of making sure that both sides are equal. So I'm kind of checking in between, creating the lines, kind of looking at the other side and then checking the other side again, making sure that both lines are kind of in the same direction. So after making sure that the lines look okay, I'm gonna start with creating a line above the lash line. Sometimes I do it the other way around. I start with the line above the lash line and then I create the lines. Today I did it the other way around, like it doesn't really matter, but yeah, just do what works for you. Now, like I said earlier in the video, my eyes are not the same. One of my eyes has a bigger eyelid, which makes it a little bit harder to get both sides to look like identical. I think it's almost impossible if you don't have the same eyes. So don't be too hard on yourself. I think if your wing liner kind of goes the same direction, the same height and the same thickness, it already looks really good. It's so hard to make it look the same way if you don't have identical eyelids. Like, that's just almost impossible. So don't be too hard on yourself. I think the first step that we did with creating the line, I think that's one of the most important steps. Like if you have that correctly, it's almost impossible to go wrong. Instead, of course, you're gonna fill it in way too thick, but yeah, that's the next step. So this is how it's looking so far. You can see my left eyelid is a little bit smaller than the other part. So now I'm gonna connect the outer part of that wing towards the eyelid. So you want to make sure you don't go up too high with this line, because if you go too high, it can make the wing liner look a little bit weird. This also kind of depends on your eye shape, but I would suggest to like start a little bit low and then you can always go up higher. But if you kind of connect it too high, it's like almost impossible to fix that, and then you have to go in with a Q-tip, remove it, then you will take off the concealer on your eyelid. So just try to create that line a little bit lower and you can always go higher. Also, the high you want to go also depends kind of on your eyelid. Like if you have super hooded eyes, you kind of want to maybe make sure you don't go up too high. It totally depends on your eyelids. So you have to kind of practice a few times to see what works best for you. This is how it's looking so far. You can see my right eyelid is a lot bigger. So yes, of course, it doesn't look identical, but the wing liner look really nice in proportion on both sides and at the same height. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. If you have any more questions, don't forget to leave them down in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed and hopefully I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!